Hey folks, welcome back. Last time we had a surprise victory at the last moment. I was expecting to have to come back to the puzzle that I was doing, but then suddenly saw the solution right when I needed to. Which is great, very satisfying. Where was that? That was in purple, wasn't it? Maybe I should stick around purple? Which one was this? I'm not actually trying this. Oh, Ricochet. Maybe I am trying Ricochet? Maybe I am. I remember having a lot of blocks, like separate individual blocks, yeah. And all of these slidey pieces. Ugh. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Isn't it? It sure is. I mean, I have to get through the discomfort at some point. Okay. Blocked off, blocked off, blocked off. I'm basically blocked off into this area until I go through here. I'm probably not doing anything about that. It's a one-way gate. I'm coming in here. There's another thing here. Another yellow block there. Which is the weirdest part, right? Like, what would I be doing with that? This can get destroyed on there, but then why not just make it short? Yeah, why bother having the minuses? Just to make sure that I do come down here and do this? Possibly. And an extra minus here. And this little space, which surely is not relevant, I don't know. Prohibited space down here, I guess, for like, if I ever send a yellow down here, for it to get trapped so that I don't get it back, maybe. For setting one down here would be good, it would hit the minus. But then this, yeah, this yellow, like it either goes here, in which case it's stuck against this gate, which I can't have held it open, or I guess there's the option that I stuck something through there. Like this is open for a reason. This is open for a reason. But it's not like I can send this out that way, because I can't push it from the left. So instead, why is that open? To push something else in? For this to hit, but then it's just stuck there. Why are you this particular shape? You could be like a single block under a gate, like we normally see. But with this shape instead, why? Why would that be? It's not like I could carry anything behind me into here. Anything that's pushed through here, I just wouldn't be able to move from this side. If it were just on the... If it weren't sticking in all the way and we're just on here, I can't push it. If we're sticking in all the way, then I can only push it from the top and the bottom, in which case it won't move. So I'm certainly not pushing anything from here. I'm like possibly sending a yellow in. So I've got two yellows in there? For what reason? I don't know. This corridor's odd. I mean, that corridor's odd, but it's there. But it almost certainly means nothing. Three things the same width. And these yellows. 5 minuses, which is kind of odd because we don't have anything that's 5 long. A plus here and 4 minuses, and those minuses up there. So something down here is extending by 1. At some point they're getting destroyed. I'm gonna guess that this minus is the hard one, right? Because in order for anything to hit this minus, I have to get this thing out of the way, and then I'm in this space. So I've got to do something while I'm in here to get this to get hit. What would that be? Well, if if a gravity block fell and hit it, that would be good. Or if a gravity block fell and hit a yellow and that hit it, that would be good as well. Why are you here? It's like I keep thinking like you're my trigger in some way, like I fire you somewhere, it sets a bunch of chain reactions off, but you're there. Why are you there? It's not like I can make you hit something here, because I can't get anything here. That's all I can do with it. Why are you sitting on that? Also, just like maneuvering this around is going to be a pain. This gravity block, as it always is. You don't hold that open. Of course you don't. Okay. What am I doing? I don't know. So while I'm down here, while I'm down here, get this out of the way, I guess just by destroying it on there, but I don't get why 3. Why not just like, why not have this short and have 1? I can go past and do something potentially. But what? And you were just weird. Like, I don't see how you could ever be relevant to anything. I can't hold that open. Nope. I keep thinking like, can pushing this on this column somehow make stuff on other columns go up? I don't think so. No, it'd have to push something. What would it push? I don't know. Nothing. There's a way to walk around this, either to push it from the bottom or to push it rightwards from here. Okay, hold on. So is there potentially a mechanism where I do this, I push this down, and I push this right, and for some reason I want to be here while that carries it through all of those 3? Why? I don't know. But that would mean making you hit something here. How would that happen? How would that happen? I don't know. It wouldn't. Especially from not pushing this over. Like, how's anything getting into this area? Nothing can. It is possible, potentially, is it possible to make this move down for this to hit? If this moved down and split into 2 4s, then I'd have lots of 4s. I don't know if that's a clue. Push this down, I could push that right, and it would hit one of these, which is not amazing. So that's interesting. So maybe I could use this gate when it falls. No, when it falls, I don't want to do anything. I'll do something from here to make this go down. Sure. This is just me trying to find the purpose for this. Like, if it's going anywhere, I guess it's going down, in which case it's got to hit this thing. Oh wait, you can hit it now. I don't need a weird mechanism, I can just do it like that. Okay. And you destroy one of those? Sure. And then maybe I get 2 more down here? Or something? Is that at all plausible? Maybe. Okay, what do I expect to trigger the next thing? For some reason I was imagining I couldn't push that down. Don't know why. Like, I'd have to do this. That's not going to be a trigger, it can't hit anything. I have to do something while I'm down here. But I can't push anything off these spaces. And I can't go underneath this. I can shuffle you over. That's about it. What could I make happen from down here? Like, ideally, I'd like... Yeah, I don't know. I'd push something. But there's nothing to push. Is there anything else I can do instead of pushing that to the right? Not really. No. Okay. That looks like it maybe exists so that if I did push something, it would hit this. Like that plus exists in that position to make that a blocker of anything I somehow managed to push from down here. I don't know even how that would happen, but whatever. I am suspicious of this shape. Like, what could that shape mean? I could wedge a thing in. Why would that be useful? I can't wedge a thing in after I've gone in. That's the thing. Could I wedge a yellow in? Why would I want to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. This can't push anything down. If there's something below it, it's going to hit this. Push something down in this space. That's all. Okay. There could be a yellow here, and this pushes it for some reason. And that does something good, maybe? Send another yellow in. I'm imagining like maybe there's some like sequence of yellows hitting other yellows that is going to be good for some reason. Two more. Okay, how does anything hit these minuses? Well, like this. Done. Or like this. Done. Oop. Ah, okay, I'm using WSD again. It's weird for some reason. Okay. Ta-da! And then... ta-da! And then... ta-da! And then this one. Yeah, so you're the issue. But you're not an issue if I do this at all. You're extremely simple to get. But then I have to have 3 other things to hit these instead. Is that what it wants me to do? Or is it more about hitting that with something else? Because my initial reaction from the name of the level is that I'm like sending something out and something else is coming back, or the same thing is coming back. Which could happen, right? Like I could send the yellow up. In doing so, it would make the gravity drop somehow. Well, isn't that just what would happen if, like... In fact, yeah, what happens if I just push a yellow into a gravity block? How do I test that? Shall I make a shape that I can use to carry the gravity around? Sure. How has this helped me? Okay. This has not helped me at all. Hold on. Lifting you up 1 is pretty good. Okay, let's do that again. Lift you up 1. I guess more than 1. And then bring you down for a yellow to hit. Sure. How does this behave? Okay, Ricochet. It bounces back. Okay. How many more monsters do I need to get rid of after doing this? 2, right? Maybe I'm bringing 2 into this space. But that would require... it would require me to push something upwards. They'd also need to not fall into the X's. I guess if 1 hit me, that would be okay, but then I wouldn't be able to go to the left of it. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing. Why do we have so many blocks? What are they for? Also, just like maneuvering these blocks around these other blocks is going to be a pain. A real pain. I've lost that. Great. Am I seeing anything? Why does this exist? Why do you exist? Why else could you exist? I can push you up or I can push you down. If I push you down, you either go into this corner or you go here. If you go here, then there needs to be something here. I can get something there if I do this. Or I push you up. And what? You push something? What would you push? What would be useful? Nothing. Why do I have access to the other side of this? That's interesting. Why do I have access to the other side of the gate? Like, these could be blocked off in theory, right? Could be wall here and here. In fact, why does it go up an extra space as well? I guess it's not like that can be held open. Well, I mean it can. Ish. I mean, yeah, okay, easily can if I do this kind of shape. Sure, held open, but like... then what? Why that space? What would I put on top of you? A yellow block? What would that do? Nothing. Gravity block? Nothing, because you're already gravity. A different block. Maybe I have access to that for no reason? In which case it's a distraction? I can't make any shape that sticks down further than that. Okay, let's assume that once I go down here, I want to push something up. What could that be? It would have to be something that's fallen down here and hit this, I guess. How does that happen? Well, I guess that would mean splitting up the gravity block somehow. Or the gravity block pushes the yellows, which is probably more likely. But how do I do that? How do I do that after I've come in here? Because if the gravity block pushes the yellows earlier, then the yellows are just stuck here and here, which is not interesting. So... how do I make anything happen while I'm down here? Is, I guess, the biggest question to answer. Maybe? I can't make a tall thing. Well, I can, but I can't make it tall enough to stick down below the X. Unless I also split it. Like, grove something downwards and then also split it. And somehow get it back as well, using gravity. But also it's just going to split like this, unless I get rid of one of these somehow. Which I guess I could do with the... I really don't like the long sequences of minuses and such, just because of the whole, well, am I using them all as a 5, or am I using one of them, or 2 of them, or 3 of them, or 5 of them, or 4 of them? I missed out. Like, if I push that further north, I'd have my thing. Okay, but that would require, to get that back, that would require the gravity block to be above it already. Which it can't be because there's minuses there. Right? Maybe? Unless there were a minus... Unless there were just a gravity block. In fact, there would still be a gravity block. That's true. Okay. I don't know if this is going anywhere, but whatever. Okay. So I need some way of getting this up. And wedged on top of something. Wedged on top of this? I guess wedged on top of there, ideally. How's that happening? How are you moving left? Something would have to push you left. What would it be? Well, maybe you just have to be perched on something. I mean, I can move you left already by bringing this down. Pushing you on top of this. Let's not do that, though. I guess let's just get rid of you over here. Or not. Ah. Okay, that's fine. That. Perch you up, stick you out like that. There's still the question of how do I get you to go further to the left. Let's just get the yellows out of the way. Like, what are you going to perch on? Not that over there. Nothing. There is a potential way of doing that if you are still free. When did I lose you? Ages ago. I moved you. There we go. Am I just getting all these out of the way? Oh, I guess, okay, let's use you to get rid of that minus. And sure, yeah, we're getting you out of the way. Even worse position, but sure, I don't care. Okay. I keep expecting everything to behave as though it's got gravity. I just get used to it and then suddenly I can't expect everything to do it. Okay, so if you're there, I can then lift this up and wedge it on top of that one. Okay, gravity block is up here. Next, wedge you in, do this. Why? What? Oh no, because then I'm using all the minuses on the gravity block. Well. Okay. Great. Great. I wanted the thing to come down here that I could push, although I still wouldn't be able to because it would land here. And I have to have gone through it, which I can't do anymore. I have to have gone through here, push this down in order for this to be lower, for the thing to fall, but then I wouldn't be able to do everything that I just did. Unless I can send the yellow upwards, which I can't. Except maybe I can. I can! I see what this is for. Okay, I see what Yep. Do I? Yeah, I see what you're for. Yellow in here, push 2 yellows down, get the other yellow to hit here. Okay, that feels good. It does just mean I need to somehow get you onto the bottom, the second row from the bottom, which is kind of a pain. That means something else has to be stuck down there. Unless it's going to be another yellow that's stuck down there. Although, no, that seems difficult to me. This felt useful for carrying things upwards. I think this kind of shape is good. What does it mean for getting you to the next row, though? Not a whole lot. I mean, okay, let's just do it in the easiest way possible, whether it's good or not. Okay, so you'd be like that, you'd go that way, do this. Maybe. Sure. Yes, okay, and that's the perfect length for this to hit and push it upwards and do something. Okay, that's a good trigger. Oh my gosh. I did not think of sending a yellow in that way. I think I just had it in my head as like, well, I've already got one pointless yellow here. How does it help to have another pointless yellow here? Okay, now I can see how like sending something that way is going to interact with this in such a way that it will send a yellow back in here to hit this. That's all I'm trying to set up. Okay. So I've got 2 more yellows out here. I need to set that mechanism up. And somehow these are involved. Sure. Somehow those are involved. So ultimately, to make that happen, there's got to be a gravity over a yellow up here somewhere, but the gravity is not hitting the yellow yet. Then I push this up, it does something probably involving the minuses, and it makes the gravity fall and then hit the yellow. What would that look like? You've got to do something that then makes the gravity fall and hit the yellow. But the gravity will fall anyway. Got two yellows. Potentially one of them is for getting rid of a minus. I could believe that for sure. Because I only think I need one more to come back and hit this minus. Okay. So what does that mechanism look like? I just can't imagine it. So a gravity above a yellow that gets pushed upwards. Something happens and it falls back down and hits the yellow. So for some reason it can't move down because of this. So if we have a yellow like here and a gravity block like across this, it can't hit that. We lift up the gravity block. The gravity block gets destroyed in such a way that there's one gravity block left over. That falls down, hits the yellow, and it comes back. That sounds possible. How did I do this without getting anything stuck? Oh no, that was stuck, right. Well, okay, maybe it's supposed to be stuck, and it's just out the way. No, because I want to hit the gravity block. Well, yeah, but it could be here. But it needs to go all the way up to the minuses. I'm on the right lines. I'm on the right lines. I can feel it, even though nothing feels concrete. It definitely feels like something. So that means getting rid of that minus. I still have an extra minus to get rid of as well, which is awkward. Like either that one or that one. Ugh, okay. How do I get something into this column? Let's just think about that. Well. It's a bit of a silly idea, but yeah, now it's just the challenge of can I move anything? I guess, hold on, so you both go down. Send you that way. I mean, I guess I could do something similar where I just get another yellow to hit you. Which seems pretty doable, yeah. Okay. Right, so then when you get lifted up, 3 of them get deleted, 1 of them falls, goes here. Well, the yellow gets hit. Oh, but then why not just have you hit it? I don't need the other yellow. Ah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm not ricocheting another yellow back, it's ricocheting a gravity back. In which case I can just get rid of another one, right? Hold on, this is like weirdly good, right? Okay, because then I can just... I kind of feel like it's solved, but I don't know for certain. Like, you can just be here. I just don't care about you anymore. Get you out of the way. No, because I need to have lifted the gravity block up, which I've already figured out how to do. If I can do it again. Without losing that yellow. I need to put you somewhere else then, yellow, right? Let's push you up a little bit. Okay. That might be okay. It might also not be okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind pushing you over there, because then I can get you down from there. Okay, that works for me. Then it was this. Then it was this over to the left. And then grab it from the left. Wedge you on there. Take the gravity block up. Do that. Okay, then I don't care about you. Okay, and then that makes this corridor make sense. You go down. Do I just want this out of the way? Do you have no purpose now? And this out the way? Yes? Am I done? I think I might be done. I don't know. Push you all the way. Push this down. Push this down. Push you to the right. Push you up. Yay! Okay, so 2 of the yellow blocks were just for poking holes in the minuses at the top. They weren't part of the ricochet mechanism. Holy moly. Yay, I did one in a nice amount of time. That's not my ball. Oh, okay, now that makes sense. Because, like, I've, like, kicked my ball over the fence and somebody's kicked it back and it's actually a different ball. It's the gravity block instead. I would not have got that from working the other direction, though. I can only understand that knowing the solution. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I didn't really think about it, though. Sledge and catch next, maybe? Might as well keep going here, since these seem to be going okay. It's so weird how... Like, it was 0 confidence until, like, minute 31 or something. And then just, like, a path emerged. And I don't know if I felt like I knew for certain that I had to be on that path. I was just like, well, I can see it now. I can see a clearing. So I will walk that way, and the solution is at the end of it, apparently, from a bunch of random things I just did. Whoa. Okay, cool. Alright. See you next time for probably, yeah, let's go for these, I think. That's a good idea. See you then for that. Goodbye.